What's up, Internet? My name's Mr. Jumbles and welcome to a Toxic Guide to Cinderace. Now ordinarily I'd explain why in this guide Cinderace is a toxic little boy, but look at his goddamn face. You know this little butthole rabbit is absolutely gloating over your Pokemon's charred corpse anytime he gets a kill on you. We've all had it happen, looked upon that furry baiting little bugger and thought, wow, it looks like he dominated my whole team without even trying. How the heck did he do it? Well, that's what I'm here to teach you. Together we will learn to pilot this little football-loving maniac, or soccer-loving maniac if you're that way inclined, and use him the way Arceus intended. Brutally and without mercy. The first and most important thing that you need to know about Cinderace is that your early game is honestly terrible. While your damage isn't necessarily bad, your survivability is so bad that if an enemy dared to sneeze in your direction, you'd immediately die from the sheer force alone. With that said, with a few levels under your belt and in your final form, you are an auto-attacking carry god, capable of killing literally any mon on the field without any concern for your own safety. In order to get there, I suggest the following items. Muscle Band for bonus damage every time you hit someone with your fiery balls. Scope Lens for critical hit rate and damage. And finally, Focus Band to help with that early survivability and let you get off more of that spicy sustained damage that Cinderace excels at. As your trainer item, I pretty much always suggest a Jet Button. Teleporting is OP and everybody should know that. X Attack and X Speed are also reasonable choices. X Attack for if you come across an enemy and decide, no, screw this, that person dies. And X Speed for if you really like chasing enemies into their speed zones. Now your items are in order, head into a game. Insta-lock Cinderace and express your preference for lane. The great thing about this cindery boy is that he can go basically anywhere. Wanna go top as a traditional carry? Go wild. Wanna go bot so you can secure Dreadnought and poke down all the melee all-rounders that live down there? Poke away, my friend. Wanna go jungle and level up crazy quick, basically skipping your painful early game? You get on that jungle life. I believe in you. Once you're in game, get to where you want to be and take literally all the farm you possibly can. Your job right now is to kill wild Pokemon until you can evolve and stand upon their child corpse as a king. In order to achieve this, you have arguably one of the most stacked passives in the game. Blaze. This wild-ass passive increases your critical hit rate and attack speed if you're at less than half HP, makes you deal more damage with your next basic attack after you've used the move, adds damage dealing stacks every time you attack somebody. All of that spicy power in one single passive. Try to avoid fights if you're below level 5, but obviously the enemy team will likely have different ideas. If you do find yourself being jumped upon by hordes of enemy mons, make sure that you give them a wide berth. Your range is pretty good, and provided that you aren't the only target, you should be able to keep yourself at max range. Once you do hit level 5, prepare for a very brief stint as Reboot, and pick up either Blaze Kick or Pyro Ball. I'm sure that there is a use case with Pyro Ball, but so far, I've not found it. Take Blaze Kick and boot the goddamn faces off of anyone who dares oppose you. Once you hit level 7, you'll get to swap your Low Kick for either Feint or some other garbage. Feint makes you briefly invulnerable, and therefore there is not another option. Finally, at level 8, you evolve into the big man himself. After most of the game suffering through a painful stint as a tiny rabbit, you now stand the height of a regular man, and you can and will use that advantage to kick the other tiny mons right in their faces. At this point, your newfound rabbit man form can take on the enemy mons in a very real version of the be careful who you called ugly in high school meme, as now pretty much anyone you 1v1 will suffer, as all of their health melts away in the face of your fiery kicks. If the enemy has enough damage to take you to half health, you'll enter an anime comeback mode that Naruto would be jealous of, as you kick little fire blasts across the arena. Once you hit level 9, you'll hit your Unite move, Blazing Bicycle Kick! This funky little move allows you to deal a respectable chunk of damage in an AoE from considerably too high of a range. Use this move to initiate, use it to disengage, and use it as a pure disrespect move when an enemy finally believes that they have escaped your rabbity wrath, but instead comes face to face with a meteor strike capable of taking out a 6-block radius. Now you're fully evolved and understand the basics of the sport of gentlemen, it's time to go through some advanced techniques. Technique the first, diving. Your respectable range and crazy sustained damage make you well placed to bully an enemy laner from their goal zones, especially if there's some sort of fool playing a melee character. Keep up that pressure and eventually they will either get the message that they are not welcome here, or they will die. Once either has occurred, feel free to dunk the millions of points that you have gathered from Technique the second, never stop farming. Cinderace is an oppressive long-eared boy and needs to maintain that lead over the enemy team in XP by pretty much any means necessary. If you find yourself with very little to do, go find a wild Pokemon skill. By maintaining a strong EXP lead, the times that you stop farming, otherwise known as murder time, will become much more impactful. Additionally, you will pretty much always have a boatload of points ready for any time that there's a good moment to hand in. Now you know how to cause untold suffering using only your fluffy little feats. Get out there and carry literally every game you're in. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn to play other Pokemon the toxic and therefore correct way, consider liking and subscribing, and checking out the other guides just here. Peace.